As an owner of a company in the music business, there's one thing I've always wanted to do: exhibit at NAMM. Well, Centaur turns 30 this year, and it seems like I might finally get my chance. Hi, I'm Sam Mims, and if you're like me, you love synthesizers. So join us on our journey to the 2018 NAMM show, and let's see if we can get there.
This is the biggest thing we've ever done, the biggest bite we've ever taken.
Here at Centaur, we live to bring old synthesizers back to life. We find vintage keyboards wherever we can, and our crew restores them back to their original splendor. We also supply parts to tens of thousands of customers all around the world so that they can restore and repair their own keyboards. At our shop in Texas, we have on hand parts for the synths used by pros from the 1960s all the way to today's brand new keyboards. Our inside and out knowledge has made us known as the Synth Wizards. NAMM stands for the National Association of Music Merchants, an organization that was formed way back in 1901. The annual Winter NAMM show, held in Anaheim, California every January, attracts well over 100,000 attendees from all over the world. It's the most important trade show for the music industry because it's where manufacturers release and showcase their new products. If there's a hot new synthesizer hitting the market, the Winter NAMM show is likely the first place anyone will see and hear it. Because of all the excitement of new product releases, everyone wants to get into the show. But technically it's for manufacturers and for buyers from music stores. But if you can get in, holy cow, there's a lot to see. Booths from thousands of different manufacturers showcase squillions of products. Just the Yamaha booth alone is larger than a football field. And in addition to the exhibits, there are concerts and parties and music celebrities. There's so much to see that even after the 4 days of merriment fades into memories, you'll still be thinking of things you wish you had done.
So we're exhibiting at NAMM this year for the first time ever. Huge commitment in money and time, and that's kind of become my full-time job. And in the midst of all that, we've switched our entire website back end over. We've created a new back end, the part that drives our whole website, and that's become an immense issue of trying to get everything straight and resolve all kinds of little issues. So that's become my fuller time job. So I can't really focus on NAMM, and I can't really focus on the stuff I normally do, so I'm pulling my hair out.
Getting ready to exhibit at NAMM, especially for the first time, takes a lot of work and a lot of money. We committed to a 10 by 10 foot exhibit space and then had to figure out what we would do with it. We decided that we had room for just 2 keyboards, and we wanted them front and center and especially eye-catching. What would grab the eyes and ears of musicians amongst the din and clatter and shiny new products everywhere? One choice was easy. The Arp Odyssey that we retrofitted with sub-oscillators in episode 3 was a natural. It's a vintage synth from 1975, so that alone will attract synth heads. And with the sub-oscillators we've added, it sounds monstrous. On top of that, it's got 2 other great attributes. It's relatively small, and it's right here in our showroom ready to go. The second choice was just about as obvious, but it was doubtful that we could pull it off. And I was going to stir up a lot of trouble for even mentioning it.
Sure. Can we build a Juno 107?
No. Y'all just go on about what y'all's doing. Don't even come in here and ask. We're not building them up.
Can we build one in like 2 or 3 weeks?
Y'all just go on and do what y'all's doing. Y'all don't need to be bothering me with no Juno 107.
We created the Juno 107 about a year ago, back in Synth Wizards episode 2, and it was an amazing synthesizer. It's a heavily customized Juno 106 with added controls and circuitry for a patch suite, which cycles quickly through the 8 patches in any bank, allowing for some really unique animated sounds. We built it and then sold it to producer Nick Knack, and I sure have missed it since then. It looked and sounded so insane that it seemed like a natural attention grabber for our NAMM booth, We just didn't own it any longer. So why not build another one? Gerald, what if we build a Juno 107 for the NAMM show?
No.
What if we build a Juno 107 for the NAMM show?
No.
What if we build a Juno 107 for the NAMM show?
No.
What if we build a Juno 107 for the NAMM show?
Is my last word. No.
Gerald assured me that there was no way we could get a Juno 107 built in the 4 weeks we had until the show. But I had a couple of ideas that could make it a quicker build than before, and I felt like we at least had a chance of getting it done in time. So I visited our warehouse to grab everything I could find that said Juno 106 on it. You're a veritable cornucopia. From a pile of broken Juno 106s, we need to make one impeccable Juno 107. But this time we're wanting a new eye-catching red color scheme. And we've got a few other tricks up our sleeve as well. And we've got to do it all in record time, or we'll be going to NAMM without the star of our show.
Does he know the word double time?
2018 is the 30th year that Syntaur has been in business. Our first sale was in 1988 when I began offering sample discs for the Ensoniq Mirage. The name Centaur was taken from a band I had back in the 80s, a three-piece rock group that was very heavy on synthesizers. The Centaur was a Greek mythological creature that was half man and half horse. So Syntaur, the band, was conceived as half man, half machine. Well, 3 men and a bunch of synthesizers, with a nearly unreadable logo that was perfectly symmetrical. People may not have known how to say the name, but the logo sure was unreadable. Despite the fact that many people couldn't read the logo, didn't know how to pronounce Centaur, or didn't know what the name was about, I hung on to it, and here we are. For a lot of years, Centaur was a sound design company. We created sounds for Ensoniq keyboards at first, then Ensoniq licensed all of their sound libraries to us for distribution and hired us to beta test and create sounds for their new keyboards. We ended up with a number of prototype synths that are pretty interesting. Here's one of the prototype Physmos, with paper legends and an elegant plywood wheel panel. Soon we were doing factory programming for Korg as well, and I was one of the 3 guys that did all of the Triton's internal sounds. As software synths and samplers became a bigger part of the industry, our market for keyboard sounds started shrinking, and I turned the company more toward hardware, specifically to providing the parts that were needed to keep the keyboards working. And that's been a great niche for us. We now have almost 60,000 customers worldwide that turn to Syntaur for repair parts. We're always growing, and a couple of years ago we bought a new place for our world headquarters. Wait, that's not it? Yes, here it is. Right in the middle of New Braunfels, Texas. Our little piece of synthesizer heaven. An untold number of Roland Juno 106s have been rescued by Analog Renaissance, a Belgian company masterminded by the Renaissance man himself, Jeroen Ellert. Most 106s fail when the voice chips start dying, so Jeroen reverse engineered these chips, redesigned them using modern components, and manufactures them in a way that's virtually bulletproof. He also did the same for the DCO chips that are used in the Juno. Syntaur is the distributor for Analog Renaissance, and when I told Jeroen we'd be building a Juno 107 for the NAMM show, we worked out a plan to make it even more special. Like on our first Juno 107, we'll give it an audio input to the chorus effect, the very cool patch suite feature, and new Analog Renaissance DCO chips as before. But now we're also going to install prototypes of a new voice chip that Jeroen calls Gravitational Slingshot, as well as a prototype panel board that's outfitted with sexy lighted sliders. whether we finish it in time for NAMM or not. It's going to be an incredible synthesizer. With an already impossible deadline to build the Juno 107, these new additions to the mix will make it even more challenging. But we can't pass up the opportunity to show off these new products at the NAMM show. And so work on both sides of the ocean began at a feverish pace. With Cody and Joseph hammering out the new website code, Eddie was calling in some favors and getting a banner and some signs made for the booth, and Mary was hunting down carpet, tables, and all the rest of the pieces we would need for our exhibit. Joel was fine-tuning and building the circuit for the Juno 107 patch suite. Jeroen was getting the new voice chips and lighted panel board ready. Marty was working on the new panel design, and Gerald was getting the rest of the synth prepared. With everything running like a well-oiled machine, I dashed over to Proline Custom Aluminum to pick up some new creations that I was pretty excited about. Those guys do such beautiful custom work for boats that I thought they would be perfect for handling an important part of our exhibit, crafting some unique keyboard stands that would really set our booth apart. I gave the guys at Proline a rough idea of what I wanted, and they knocked it out of the park. Now each keyboard will have a unique polished aluminum stand that will be as eye-catching as the keyboards themselves. The final days before leaving were totally bonkers. Gerald's working overtime getting our red Juno 107 built, and he's not very happy about it. We're still in the midst of getting our software ironed out so that we can have our website working as it should, and money is flying out in all directions. I'm nervous about whether this NAMM idea even makes sense. I'm not even sure our little booth is going to be noticed among all the major keyboard manufacturers. After coming up with the final design of our exhibit on paper, we set up the booth in our showroom just to make sure we had absolutely everything that we would need. Then it was time to pack it all up and get a good night's sleep before driving across the country. Was the night before NAMM. We're leaving for NAMM in the morning. We've got just about everything done. We just need a case for the Odyssey we're bringing. Nope. It's an Arp Avatar. Odyssey. All right, so we'll leave the Odyssey here. Take the case with us. Case closed. Shoot, don't want to bring that mountain down. So this is the Synthmobile, or we call it the Lion of Judah because you can see down in this nasty spot, it used to have a sign there for the Lion of Judah Church or something. We scraped that off. It's as ugly as sin and as long as a space shuttle, but it sure gets the job done. There's a lot of room in there. It's basically a 15-passenger van, and we pull all the seats out when we load it up with synthesizers.
I have not been to NAMM. I've seen it. Friends of mine have gone. I've heard lots about it, but I've never gone, and can't lie and say that I'm not looking forward to it. I am looking forward to it, even though it's work. I am going to be basically just trying to interact with people and get them, bring them in and let them know what we do and what we can offer, and some of the things Centaur does as a company in general. But just basically just kind of be one of the faces of Centaur and just try to meet as many people as we can.
With keyboards built and the van all loaded, we set off on our Odyssey, leaving Shaylin, Mary, Cody, and Gerald to run the shop. It's California or bust.
Look, if I got my choice between Eddie, you, and her, NAMM, here we come, rock and roll show. Syntaur rules.
Poisonous snakes and insects inhabit the area.
Oh man.
We got time for
And
another
then get
cigarette
a
before we
sample.
get out of here?
Sample of one each.
One each.
Which one are you?
Rather than jam up in a hotel, Mary found us a really cool house to rent for the week. And after 2 days of driving, it was great to unwind and relax. So you didn't believe me when I told you Mary packed me a bottle of...
Let's see, I'm not sure I'm buying everything you're selling sometimes.
No?
I'm not too sure.
She said, y'all should get there and kick back and unwind
What's
and have
that?
a good time. She packed me a bottle.
Wine
headache
cooler,
juice.
wine cooler's right for me.
Oh,
Oh, bottle. We were going to party down.
Hey, that'll buy you time right there.
it's flavored. You have all the fun you can have. Okay, we need to plot the coordinates for Bevmo and Walmart.
Nah, you're good, you're good. Just a little bit of footage of picking you up, you know.
That same night, Jeroen arrived on a flight from Belgium, and our NAMM crew was complete. We had the evening to fine-tune the Juno 107 before the next day of loading in and setting up at the convention center. Why are you squatting there?
I'm squatting here because I have squatting rights to this entire booth, which, if you look above me, has a split sign that says Bob Bogue Foundation, and we didn't buy his booth, we bought our booth, which needs to be the size that it is. It's small enough already, and if we split small in half, you get nada. So we're waiting to see what's going to happen, and we're hoping that it goes our way, and I don't have to throw a fit. That's it, in a nutshell.
We're not sure why the Bob Moog Foundation was assigned to our booth, along with us, but after a discussion with NAMM staffers, the booth was all ours. Sorry, Bob. For the next few hours, we set up the Centaur booth, and I'm pretty proud of how nice it looks. But I still don't know if we'll be noticed among all the big players showing off their new products at the show. I guess we'll find out in about 16 hours. Within minutes of the show opening, I could tell that we were going to stir up some attention. We were in a great corner location, and just as I had hoped, that flaming red Juno 107 and the vintage Arp Odyssey caught the eyeballs. And by just playing the two together, the Juno with that pulsing patch sweep, along with the big fat Odyssey bass, people stopped in their tracks and wanted to know more about what was making those noises. It was really cool meeting customers who had dealt with Centaur for years, and others who were Synth Wizards fans. But having keyboard megastars stop by and give us the thumbs up was always exciting. Sometimes I think we're doing something pretty cool, but I'm not sure if anyone else really cares. So to hear these heavy hitters loving on our keyboard creations was really gratifying. I think the most fun I had at NAMM was when different people were checking out the two keyboards and would just start jamming together. Some of their playing was jaw-dropping, and when we asked them afterwards who they worked with, they'd say, "Oh, I just play at church," or "Oh, we're just students." Some of these guys were monster players. There was so much fun going on with those keyboards that the sound police popped in several times and asked us to turn it down. Sorry guys, it was hard to contain. Our exhibit not only attracted the attention of keyboard players, we had some interesting visits from keyboard designers as well. Dave Rossum, the founder of EMU Systems, came by and talked tech with Jeroen about stuff which was way above my pay grade. And the Juno 107 and Jeroen's chip designs for it lured several of the Roland engineers over, including the head of their electronics department in Tokyo. By the end of each show day, we were totally spent. We used the last reserves of our energy just to make it back to Casa Centaur and find food. So it was a nice surprise when Jeroen showed us another of his talents and cooked us a fabulous meal. Man, that was some good eating. It was way better than stopping at a fast food taco place watching Robin put away 8 tacos. After 4 days of NAMMing, it was time to lock the doors to Casa Centaur for the last time, bid farewell to Jeroen, and hit the dusty road for our journey back to Texas. Our mission with the NAMM show was to get our name out in front of the music industry, so that when people think synthesizers or need parts, they think Centaur. And that worked out great. We got a lot of attention at our booth and talked to a lot of keyboard people. When I'm in the office, I spend most of my time sitting at my desk. So to get out on the road with Eddie and Robin, to meet and hang with Jeroen, to talk to so many of our customers face to face, and to shake the hands of the real synth wizards whom I've always admired, it reminds me that it's not just about the synthesizers. It's about the people who press the keys and turn the knobs. And 30 years of being able to do this? Man, you can't ask for much better than that. Actually doing video, you posers.
Oh, it's a video?
There you go.